Hey guys, Jessie with Jessie's Farm Art. If you've been watching my page here lately, you know that we've got a shop update this Friday, January 17th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's Missouri time. That's when the new stuff I've made will go live in my Etsy shop. I have been trying to find ideas of things to make that are new, that I haven't offered before. And when most people think leatherwork, they think holsters, belts, wallets, keychains, and I made those things, but it's not stuff that I offer because everybody that does leatherwork does that. And I don't want to be the kind of person you come to get something that you can get anywhere else. I want to be the girl you go to get stuff that's unique, one of a kind, that either nobody else offers or very few people offer. So I've been racking my brain trying to think of what you might need that nobody offers or not many people do. And I got to thinking before Christmas, I was thinking, what could I make the kids for their Christmas gifts? And the boys love to fish. I love to fish. Let's make something fishing related. That made me think of this old man that I used to know. He used to go fishing 4 or 5 times a week, and every time, he probably still does, but every time I would go to his house, he had this notebook on his table every time, and it was this big, thick, spiral-bound notebook that he had drawn grid lines on, like an Excel spreadsheet, but it was all hand-drawn, and it was like what fish he caught. Every fish he caught, it didn't matter if it was a 5-ounce perch, a 7-pound bass, 3-pound bass, a 30-pound catfish. He recorded all of them. And he recorded the baits he used, the weather pattern, the moon phase. He recorded every detail that he could think of from each fishing trip. And one day I asked him, is this like a diary or a journal that you just want to look back on one day and remember all the good memories you had of that fishing trip? And he said, well, that's part of it, but a big part of it is if I can look through here and figure out this day was this type of weather, it was overcast, and I did really awesome bass fishing at this spot, but I go to this spot and it's overcast and I don't do any good. Or this day I was catfishing and I used cut bait or whatever, works great in this spot during this weather, and over here catfish bubblegum works the best for these catfish. Catch all the eater sized channels you want, or whatever. I mean, he recorded everything so he could go back and figure out, tomorrow I'm going fishing, this is the weather that it's supposed to be, and what would be the best spot for me to go to. What are they biting on? Are they biting on, over here they like white rooster tails. Over here they like yellow rooster tails. So it made things a lot easier. There was no guesswork, and I thought that was a really cool idea to record all that stuff. And I thought for the boys, for their Christmas gifts, that would be something neat for them to make a leather book to hold some kind of little book with all the fishing records. And I got online and I could not find any other than giant full-size pages that you could download and print off. They're not going to want to carry something that big. So finally I found a company in New Jersey that's willing to cater to fishermen and make pocket-size books. And I found one company other than them that makes them, but it was only for fly fishing, and it was a company that sells flies and everything's mass produced in China for them and brought over here. They had leather books, but they were all bonded leather, which is the same as plywood. It's very low quality, and they laser printed your name if you wanted it Well, that's not good enough for my nephews. They gotta have something bomb. They gotta have something that's just really cool leather work. So I found these books, and that's the only company that I could find that made these, that made leather covers for these even. And that just, people offer leather covers for regular notebooks, field notes, but I couldn't find anybody that offered these or anything similar to this for a leather one. And that's one reason why I thought I'll make these for the boys, see how you guys like them, post pictures and get your reactions, and because if nobody else is making them, maybe nobody wants them, but I don't think so. I'm pretty excited to use this. I don't know why nobody else is making them, but I'm going to make one for myself. The boys seem to really love them, and can't wait to get out of school so they can have time to go fishing and start using these. But I posted them on Facebook. It got good response. Instagram blew up. I didn't get a lot of likes on the post, but I got message after message after message, people wanting to know, how do I get one of those books? So we started making them. Here's what comes in it. Each leather cover will have one of these in it. The fishing log. It's got how to measure your fish, and it's got a spot for date, time of day, condition, location, body of water, companions, what reel you used, rod, line, species, weight, length, fly or lure, the moon phase, any notes you want to take. It's got several pages, enough to last you a long time. And then in the back, it's got your best catches. If you want to record your PB, there's species, weight, length, fly, lure, and location. So these are pretty cool little books, pocket size, made in the USA, which is always a plus as far as I'm concerned. But that's what you get in the leather books. I only had time to make one that's ready to ship. So if you're wanting one that's ready to ship, set your alarm for Friday at 10, jump on Etsy and grab it before somebody else does, because there's one. Got a hand-tooled bass with a little rattle trap style crankbait, and the texture is like supposed to be like the water, little ripples in the water. The line goes all the way up, so it looks like somebody's up here fishing. Hand-tooled, not hand-stamped, hand-tooled. People often ask me if I can just stamp their name on something that's already made, and unless the letters are tiny, I don't use stamps. I prefer to draw them, carve them, and tool them, because it goes along with getting things that you might not be able to get from other people. Not everybody can tool, anybody can stamp. I want you to have something completely handmade, and that's why I do it that way. But you've got a little pocket in here for a credit card, ID. In Missouri we have a fishing license that looks like a credit card that's got a little code that the conservation agent can scan to see your current permits. That would fit in there. Put some money in there. Get another one of these books, and if you need two, you can have two to fit in there. There's that one. And if you saw the pictures of the books that I made for the boys, it's got the fish with their name on it. I will have that as an option. If you need it for Valentine's Day, order it now, because current turnaround time is about 3 weeks. So that means it'll take me 3 weeks to make it before it's ready to be shipped. So Valentine's Day, get this for your girlfriend or girls. I hear some guys like to fish too, so maybe get it for your boyfriend or your husband. But as far as the custom ones go with the names on it, right now with my workload, I'm only going to offer 3. There will be 3 slots for the custom fishing logs. After I get those 3 made, I'll offer another 3 slots and keep going. But if you're needing it in a hurry, make sure to get on there on Friday before somebody else fills those slots. But that is one of the new things that I'll be offering this year. There's going to be a ton of new stuff this year, but for now, I'm starting out. I wanted to start the year out with 2 things that you might not be able to find many other places, if anywhere. So there's the fishing books, and for the second thing, I've been thinking a lot about my grandma lately. I've had 2 dreams in the past couple of months, and they've both been us working Herefords. She was a cattle rancher, and several years ago I came up with Sullys Vindicator. I entered a contest. I had won several Best of Shows locally. I had never entered any big, huge contests, and I finally got the confidence to enter. Prescott, Arizona had a leather carving contest. They wanted an 8x8 sample of your work, and I thought the best thing for that would be Sullys Vindicator. My grandparents were cattle ranchers. They owned a college together, and my grandma, one day, she told me this story a lot, but one day we were walking around the pond looking for a calf or something, and she bent down, picked up this rock, and just started lovingly rubbing it with her thumb, and she showed it to me. It was in the shape of a heart, and she said, my grandpa, Daddy used to come home from work and sit down at the table and say, "I'm home, Mom, but my heart's at the farm." And I wanted what I entered to have to do something with the farm, because that's where my heart is always at. And my grandma, after my grandpa passed away, she continued raising the Herefords, and they had raised them since the 40s. And in the mid-90s, I think, she had switched to limousines because they were bringing more money than Herefords, and she always said, "One of these days we're going back to Herefords, and I'm going to name the herd bull after Vindicator from the movie The Rare Breed." It had Jimmy Stewart, Jimmy Stewart in it. And my grandpa looked a lot like Jimmy Stewart. I think that's probably a huge reason she loved that movie so much. But their bull was named Vindicator in the movie, and she wanted a herd bull named Sullys Vindicator. My grandpa's name, his nickname was Sully, so that's how I came up with the idea to do Sullys Vindicator for this contest. And you can actually see this on the Southwest Leatherworkers carving or leather conference website. They use that to advertise their contest every year, which is cool. But I wanted to bring him back. Been dreaming about my grandma like twice in the past couple of months, and I thought maybe that's her way of saying I need to bring Vindicator back. And that got me to thinking about the farm and the cows, and anytime I think about her, I always have to get this out. That's her and my grandpa's herd registry. Most of their cows from the 40s, 1941 to I think 1967. A lot of the cows are their records are in this book, and I get this out looking at it, and I'm still thinking about what can I make you guys that you can't get anywhere. What could I put Sullys Vindicator on that would be useful other than just something to set up somewhere. And Eureka, why did I not think of this? I'm looking at a record book here, and I'm dropping everything like I usually do. And why did I not think of this before? It's January. A lot of states, calving season is already here. Here in Missouri, we usually have calving season start sometime in February. Why did I not think of that? Everybody in the cattle business needs a cow-calf record book. You got to keep track of your calving season. What cow had what calf, and the birth weight, and the bull that sired it, and yada yada yada. So I got online looking for these. I found a couple of companies that make these. These are the ones that I liked best. Valley Vet Supply makes these. The reason I like this one best is it's got extra information, not just the area to record stuff, but it's got suggested management tips. It's got estrus cycle, estrus duration, gestation, rectal temperature for a cat even. Maybe you herd cats, I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. Gestation table. And then it's got 14 lines on each. I'm counting both of these as one page. 14 lines, that's 14 cow-calf pairs. Cow number, tag number, cow weight, breed date, sire number, calf sex, calf birth date, birth weight, wean weight, and remarks. That's got everything you're going to need. Enough for 14 cow-calf pairs per page. There's 10 pages of those, so that's 140 cow-calf pairs. And if you have a larger operation than that, I mean, my little books, you can fit 2 of these books in. But it also has in the back a few pages for, it's hard to see on the camera in this lighting, but for a few pages for just notes, and then precipitation for each month, each week of the month, and then each month you can record the rainfall, and then kind of a look ahead style calendars. If you need to look back, it goes back to 2018, and then it goes all the way up to 2023, so you can decide when the sale barn's having sales, when you need to be thinking about breeding the cows or whatever. It's got your calendar in the back and everything you will need to record in this little handy pocket-sized book. So that's what Sullys Vindicator went on. The first item I put him on had to be something special, so that's what it went on. And I looked it up, and there's like 3 people that I could find that make these, the leather books for them. And one was a mass-produced Chinese company that, you know, will print your name on bonded leather. One, there was an article about a lady that was making them, but apparently she stopped making them several years ago, no longer offers them. And another one was a kid that's just starting in leather work that had mentioned that he hasn't learned a tool yet, but he'll stamp your name on something, and that's wonderful. That's a good way to get started in leather work. But I want something tooled. That's what I enjoy. So you guys need to have a nice leather cover for these books so they don't get all wrinkled up in your pocket or whatever, and because it looks cool. But that's what I wanted Sullys Vindicator to go on, and since it's the first one, I wanted it to be completely inspired by my grandparents. So my grandmother was a very godly woman. She knew how to tear the town up and paint it red, but she was also a godly woman, and I wanted the first one to have a Bible verse. Look well to thy herd, which is Proverbs 27:23, and it's got Sullys Vindicator there. That verse really reminded me of her because her herd was more important to her than almost anything. Christmas Day, you gotta wait to open the presents, because I need to go bust the ice. Who wants to go with me? She treated that herd like they were her babies, and you know the Bible says to take care of them. Those are His creation. He gave us dominion so that we could take care of them, and that's exactly what she did. So that's inspired by my grandparents. And again, it's the kind of the same thing as the fishing books. It's got your card pocket, an extra pocket here in case you want to put in another one of these over there, or put some money in there, or whatever. These will fit in they fit in my jeans pockets, and I wear very scrawny jeans. But if you bend over, it's liable to come out, so keep that in mind. But they'll fit in your fishing vest or your jeans pocket or whatever. There's this one that will be available on Friday. Only one of those. There is, maybe you can see it. There is this one. If you saw back around Christmas time, I had made my dad a gigantic picture of a cowboy. It was supposed to be him and his grandpa and their dog. This is similar to that, but without it's only got one person on it, one cowboy. He's been working all day, pulling calves and whatnot, and taking a break at the campfire, having a cup of coffee in the old granite coffee pot. So the scene goes the entire length of the book. We've got one of those. And then for the third one, this might be my favorite. I love Herefords and I love this design, but this one's something special. It's got an old farmer, an old man, hunched over a wood fence rail, looking out at it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's a cow there. He's looking out on his farm, looking out at the land and enjoying his cattle. And it says down here, "So God made a farmer." Sentimental. Backside is the quilt pattern. Pretty cool. So there's one of these. We've got 3 of these available for the CowCalf pairs. We've got one fishing one available. There will be 3 slots for custom fishing books. And I will be offering these with your custom ranch brand or your farm name or whatnot, but I'm going to make an example before I offer them, so you'll know exactly what they'll look like. But as soon as I do that, that'll be available in the next shop update. But until then, these 3 are ready to ship come Friday, as well as the fishing book. So if you're wanting one of these, get on there Friday at 10 before somebody else does and snatches it up. So that's the new products for right now. There's more to come, but check me out on Etsy Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will see you next time.